Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is the ETF2L Preseason Cup. We've got some new maps going on here. As you can see, we are at Metalworks right now, and we're going to be going right into a heavy fist fight. This is the battleground of the gods, and map picks are basically going to come down to who is the best Putis. I am eepily, joined today with DuMmTm and Beta on production. I think we're going to be seeing the Kings, Jenny versus Neon right now. What are you thinking right now, DuMmTm? I need your brain. You need to break down exactly what's going to happen here.
It's gonna go down to the wire and have you
They've changed maps.
They changed map before they do it.
Maps.
Oh no! Oh, rather, it probably happened so quickly, and they didn't think to not switch map until the TV caught up. So we unfortunately won't know how it went down. This is so sad. We were so excited to cast a heavy fist fight, and then they just changed map beforehand.
Complete disaster. Well, in fairness, I would imagine that does mean that they will have picked their maps. I'm gonna assume, right? Not to throw any shade. I'm gonna assume it was like Jenny, because I've heard that Jenny basically is kind of insane. At some point we will get that verified by our independent analysis.
This also means it's not going to be Metalworks played. We're currently changing to Mist, which is a big surprise. We discussed the map beforehand, and by the looks of it, from the people I've talked to, obviously Metalworks is the favorite in the cup. It's like a fairly well-established map overall in TF2. Kalinka is alright, I think, from what I heard for the most part. Still has flaws, but it's a playable map. And Miss is just like huge in every area, so big surprise that Miss is being played here, but it should be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's definitely just based on what I've heard, yeah, it does seem to be one of the kind of least favorite in terms of all round. A lot of kind of people saying it feels like a bit unfinished, a bit kind of big, but I mean, I would imagine we would get to see. We do have some pretty interesting teams. It should be a pretty good game, actually. Definitely, I think one of the better kind of semi-finals to look at. This is Louis van Gaal's army versus Paska Klaanni, or something to that effect.
Or for the lazy people in the stream, it's the Netherlands against Finland, basically.
I mean, I would imagine Netherlands, like, they're on a bit of a winning streak right now. I would imagine, they're going to go into this. I have been confirmed in my ear that Jenny, in fact, did lose. So this is, it's a little bit like I'm not going to say an upset, but, if you start off already losing, you get into that mentality, and I don't know, you're now not playing your map pick. It's a stressful situation. Good God, right. Having a little look at this here.
What is to be taken into account here is that the Finns were in the side of bracket where one team did drop in the high tier bracket. So it was originally supposed to be 8 teams, but one team dropped, so 7. So obviously one team didn't have to play, which was the top seed in Group B, I think, which was the Finns. So they didn't have basically a warm-up game here, where the Dutchies had one game, I believe, on Metalworks you mentioned, where they confidently won against a French team. So they're going into this cold, where the Dutchies had some warm-up, which might just matter a little bit.
I mean, it might, considering it's like a new map. It's a map which people wouldn't really have had the time to look at, and maybe not the inclination. If teams are playing a little bit puggy, the team which is warmed up a little bit better, they're prepared to go. They've got, I believe, some strong leadership in the form of Martin. I mean, I feel like there's a decent chance that Netherlands just kind of keeps on going. Pans it out through. But then again, I'll be honest. Any Finnish team is scary. Any Finnish scouts break this game straight up.
Yeah, that tends to be a thing in this game, isn't it? But
it's terrifying.
While Finnish scouts are good, you need a little bit more than just scouts to win. So we'll see how the other classes do so far. And from the names, I remember some other names here as well. Neon obviously has played this one before, for example. So it's not like they only have stuff going for them in the scout department.
No, it is true. I said you've got kind of very recognizable players all around. Obviously, I would say Louis van Gaal's army is slightly more, definitely the more established team. I think almost this exact roster played last season. I'm not sure if maybe Mist was on a slightly different team.
Yeah, Mist and Tantrum played on a different team, which also made mid-playoffs, just like Louis van Gaal's army. So they just came back home, basically, and I want to see how far they can get in, you'd imagine, Div 2.
You would, yeah, you'd probably imagine so. So it's kind of like a fledgling Div 2 team versus a kind of Div 2/Div 1 kind of Finnish mix. So I feel like, we're talking team play versus raw firepower, And like I said, Van Gaal's army, they got some fraggers on the team. Mist on scout can absolutely sweat bullets and frag gamers. You've got Martin, who is a big brain and a frag. He's got the 2, and he's got 5 ping, right? Ping difference, we're talking like a 400 differential right now between the Finns and the Dutchies. That's like rude. It's so good.
Well, on the other hand, Finns are used to it. Not most of the servers are close by, unless it happens to be like a Russian server or something like that. So they've been practicing on this for years at this point.
I don't know, dude. I don't know either. All right. I think we're 6. They're 6. I think we're going to do some predictions. I think they're going to be going live fairly soon. I'm just going to go trust in my boys, honestly. I'm gonna say that Dutchies are going to not pound. But they're going to go fairly dominant. Now, I feel like team play is going to be the savior of today. They're not going to get just absolutely rolled over. And as a result, I think we're going to be seeing the Dutchies in the grand finals.
I'm going to go with A, experience, and B, the team that chose the map here. So the Finns are my pick. And on a map that's as weird as this, having experience, which you'd imagine if they're picking this, is in their hands, should mean a lot. This is a weird map. It's a very flank-heavy map. And if you know what you're doing, then it makes a huge difference.
It really is. I'm just kind of having a little look around. It was a little bit unfortunate. You know, obviously, Metalworks is an established map. Definitely understand how that goes. And I was having a bit of a look at Kalinka. But honestly, in my head, I was like, they're probably not gonna play Mist. So I can kind of cheat a little bit and not look too closely at that one and just kind of, you know, just kind of get an idea of the vague layout and then kind of move on. But obviously, they've made me look stupid now. And it's really weird. Like, I don't even know what kind of map it reminds me of. There's just stuff. There's just stuff like everywhere. There's like 19 different routes to everywhere. You got a billion different corners, and there's just like props everywhere. It feels like it's gonna be interesting to see like how the teams play on it, especially like on the mid. I can't think of like any mid which is like anything like this.
Yeah, it's a bit strange with like the really awkwardly divided high ground between the sides. You have obviously the point in the middle, and then two sides, two little. I don't even want to call it spires, but you know, the little bit of high ground, and even more the bacon areas on the side as well. Lots of potential high ground to take and abuse if you play it correctly. But it also means that sidelines are a bit weird, not necessarily for snipers, but just for people to sneak around on. Specifically scouts.
Yeah, I've heard a lot just in terms of like general flanking routes, like the ability to just run behind and just like have no one really know. I guess like it's always going to happen because like on maps where people aren't quite as aware, but it just feels like said with all these different height differentials and all these props, all these like random things in the way, like it feels like it's the kind of thing where, I mean, chaos strats can really work. And in fairness, a Finnish mix will be much, you know, much more ready to kind of thrive in the chaos, I would imagine. So maybe this is their thought process. Maybe they're thinking big.
What is a kind of an interesting thing about this map is so if you go all the way back to spawn on the first points, the normal spawns, you have obviously shutter doors to go out of like normal, but you also have a hole in the middle of the wall where you can jump through. And I want to see people use this for their rollouts. That's presumably the point of it, but you know, I haven't seen that used yet, so curious to see how people make the best of it by just jumping through, I would assume.
Yeah, I didn't really catch much of the games on. It was Thursday, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
I didn't catch any of those games. Did anything kind of particularly stand out? Anything maybe you wouldn't expect? Like, do people tend to play the mid like super slow, or do they just kind of run at things and is Lance like impossible to push or whatever?
The mids came down to just different ideas and different speed, which caused people to get stuck in front of if you come from your own side from second to mid onto the right side and just being boxed in there really quickly by just being a bit slower, not being able to take position well. So you have this many. Yeah, you have a lot of different routes to take into mid, which means you have a lot of different options to just immediately to start things off with, which will change things dramatically. So I think right from the first mid onwards, we will see what the like general ideas going into it and how it works out and if they need to change things up.
I can dig that. I'm feeling. I think we've already seen the Finns ready up, so I would imagine our friends from the Netherlands will just be a couple moments before going live. I'm just trying to take a second just to get a real good look around. It kind of feels like right. So in my head, in terms of like some of these transition areas, it makes me think of Bagel in the way that there's like a billion different doorways everywhere. It feels like people can just get stuck on props and I don't know. Either way, right, we're going to be going right into this. So we do have Louis van Gaal's army versus our wonderful Finnish team. I've already forgotten the name of. This is the ETF2L Season 33 Preseason Map Cup. You're looking at Mist right now. And Mist the player as well as we roll out towards this mid. So, let's see. Martin arriving considerable time before the rest of his team, just getting a little bit of insider info. Both scouts playing towards his right hand side, getting some high ground. No one fully coming from each side of the map, but Neon's gonna get that first frag towards Missy, pushing forward all the way towards his right hand side. Big bombs from the soldiers on the side of the Dutchies, but no frags at all for them, and they're getting absolutely picked apart. Martin's gonna try and leave. Nice little arrow from Muffins. He is actually just about gonna live here, but gets cleaned up by Skyper right at the end. Muffins is desperately trying to escape, surfing all the way towards the lobby, actually possibly getting on the right hand side. Woo! A little shot from Miss there, keeping his medic alive, but Uber advantage still very much in the way of Haku and the Finns.
Yeah, second is being capped off of this mid window, despite the match surviving. Strong mid by the Finns, just a lot more aggressive. The Dutchies were a lot more reserved, and Neon just demanded space, went forward aggressively, got a kill for it, and no one really denied him. Eventually the bombs came in, but at that point the Finns just had way too much control, were easily able to deny them. Now trying to take space in somewhere between second and last, getting forced kind of early though.
Yeah, I was going to say, how exactly are you going to force Muffins there, but it turns out that it's going to go for a cheeky little trade here, so with Uber's completely removed from the equation, and looks like Finns might be going for a bit of a repush. Yeah, really good damage towards Martin here. Missy's going to try and pressure forward towards Neon, again a decent bit of damage back. Then he's going to be the only casualty of that fight though. There's so many kind of different fights here going on from combo versus combo, so much damage being done, but just ultimately no one's quite dying just yet, but the frags do go the way of the Dutchies now, so our Finnish boys gonna have to move pretty far back. Oh my god, Martin's in such a good position. He's directly behind the medic, hitting absolutely nothing so far. Shouldn't matter too much though. The flank came in. DuMmTm hitting some crispy little rockets here. Should be easy opportunity for our Dutch friends to get out of last.
He's still behind. Doesn't quite get the backup, and this is exactly what we were talking about with the flank routes. The Finns were just kind of stuck in this little flank/cave area, and eventually the flank rounds just came in by the Dutchies, marked from behind, DuMmTm from the other side, while the combo was just locking them down, not going anywhere, and suddenly they were just surrounded, completely stomped. Huge Uber in Muffins' favor right now, as they're slowly trying to take space onto mid. So far given up for the most part for free. Skyper finds a jump angle though, huge damage to the medic, and fall damage would have killed them there, so strong force for the Finns, sticks all over point eventually that without any casualties, and that's about as much as you can ask for the Finns here. Just taking mid fairly competently, getting another kill onto Mist as well means pick advantage and Uber advantage.
Yeah, nice little sticky trap from Martin's going to pick it up Morty though, so it is going to be equal players just for the minute. It's only really Uber advantage that the Finns have going for them right now. Obviously from their point of view, the best thing right now would be if they can get onto mid, get towards that high ground, and not have to use their Uber whatsoever, because you know, it feels like it's not absolutely impossible. They're going to be walking through lower, they just might get through, but decent damage towards Haku, and you see Martin playing towards his high ground. DuMmTm's jumping in as well. Not quite sure exactly what the plan is here. Martin's on the, I think he's the one-man army approach. I feel like he might absolutely be able to destroy him. Might just kind of feed right now. He's so lucky to not get caught by any of that spam. Uber's coming up though for Muffins. I feel like the repush might be on. Maybe Martin can get some kind of flank. It's, you know, it's unconventional.
Everybody hasn't spotted. No one has spotted Martin yet. Neon is spamming. He might be away. There we go.
Oh, and he's dead.
Eventually, they find him. Yeah, he wanted to just lock down the left-hand area while the push came in, but it didn't come from there, so he just got stuck behind, really unfortunately for him. Left his team kind of just alone now for this push. Now demo hurts quite a bit. Still advantage in the favor, and they want to take space of this morning in the flank, denying a bit, but for the most part, it's the Dutchies just taking space for free right now.
Yeah, we do have both scouts walking forward here. They're trying to cap the point. They have not used just yet. Morty's now jumping behind, getting one rocket towards Muffins. Ultimately, will be forcing the Uber, and some of the things got to be a little bit worried. Some of them, but they do use the Uber now, so nice little flashes there from Haku. Going to be keeping the people alive, and oh my god, yeah, Dutchies again, pretty crushed towards this choke point. Muffins missed already going down. DuMmTm as well, joining the death feed as well. And it's just going to be Jenny running in, trying to do as much as physically possible. Neon that first frag, and Comba as well. This is pretty decent. We do have soldiers jumping in, definitely trying to get towards this Finnish medic, but surely there's no way right now. It's all on Martin. Can he hit the glory pipes? No, he cannot. Not today.
And this just further shows how much this overextension by Martin meant. He was dead for the Uber exchange. They couldn't do anything. Wanted to still take space, got forced by the time Haku already had his own Uber, and at that point it wasn't an Uber advantage push. It was just a really bad exchange for the Dutchies. They got more or less completely crushed here, and now it's huge advantage to the Finns, just waiting for it to come into play.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know about huge. I think it's about 25% or so. I feel like it's reasonable if they want a dot push here, but I mean, they can't kind of hang around forever. They're taking a lot of damage here. We're seeing scouts run all the way behind. Jetty taking some 1v1s, I'm sure, in just a second. I mean, they kind of got to start looking to go now. 98%. They should be walking through. Jenny's actually getting cleaned up on the flank as well, so Over-aggression, I mean, okay, Ubers, I feel like don't really come into it now. They're just going to take second for free, and then we're going to go for a bit of an equal Uber kind of a stalemate situation. Definitely interesting to see where Muffins is holding in all of this. I feel like that's a really, really difficult spot to get any kind of reasonable sack on. I feel like we're going to probably see another trade once again.
For the moment, it's just the Finns walking over people. They were controlling the flank easily on second, and now they're just getting random picks here onto last as well. Makes life a lot harder. Tantrum also wants to get some himself, gets on onto Hoppy, probably not staying alive. Really weak in the fight against Moni, will go down. Uber exchange on the right side, again towards this little cliff area, happening yet again, but this time the Finns aren't falling for it. They fall back much quicker, not wanting to get wrapped around upon again, and playing it a lot more safely here, learning from their mistakes, and for the incoming, relatively even Uber stalemate at least, they want a sniper, and you have so many entryways into last. It must be hard not knowing every single area a sniper could possibly peek it from.
Yeah, there's going to be so many different angles, so many different weird spots which teams just aren't going to be fully aware of, but I don't know, I feel like it's really difficult to play any kind of low health class, like any class which kind of has their max at 125, because there's doorways and walls and geometry just like absolutely everywhere. Everything feels quite, I don't know, enclosed, a little bit claustrophobic. I feel like getting any kind of like deep peeks a second that anyone can kind of spam you just a little bit and just kind of shoot you into the corner, you're kind of done for.
Yeah, we'll see how they approach this. The sniper so far just used really passively, waiting for the Uber safety net to come into play. Now they're trying to walk him up a bit. See what's overextending TimTom's head was a little bit, but not enough for the kill just yet. And eventually Tantrum will be the one with the heavy follow-up onto Jenny. Will just about get out the trade onto Skyper. Not quite what they've been looking for, but at least it keeps things safe on last.
Yeah, there's no real fear really from either team too much. Okay, we are seeing Morty going as well, so nice easy feed there. Jenny picking up another frag. Right, so it's basically two-player disadvantage. It's just only getting a spawn on the side of the Finns. There is a sniper, but there is a bit of an opportunity. TimTom, though, he gets domed immediately, so back they go, straight to last. It feels like this is a really difficult last to push out of.
Yeah, and the Finns are taking advantage of that with the sniper just waiting for them on second, hoping somebody overextends. Possibly something bigger than just a soldier. Heavy demo medic would be optimal here to have some sort of opening into last, but the Touchy's not quite taking the risk the Finns would hope they would, so it will just stay here a little bit longer. And now the Finns have to show why they chose this map, if they really know what they're doing. For the moment, Skyper wants to look for damage for his buff banner, but overextends into Martin's trap and a pipe to follow up things with. Not gonna have the 600 damage required anytime soon.
No, not whatsoever. I feel like at some point the Dutchies kind of got to do something a little bit more than just, I don't know, like kill overextenders. Like, after a certain point, like, the sniper's going to hit something, right? Like, he will hit something one of these days. There'll be some kind of force or just like a drop or whatever. Like, it feels like the one team which is actually being proactive is going to achieve a little bit more, because the Dutchies are just like so terrified of losing last. I mean, surely, right, this is the map where there's weird angles, weird corners you can, like, you know, hide in. Surely, like, a spy at this point has got to make the most sense.
Maybe, but that would also require somebody either to walk all the way back to the main spawn or to die in the first place. And Finns are really not that ready to take risks just now. They want the sniper to take picks, which is happening slowly but surely. They want Skyper to build damage for his buff banner, also happening, but again, really slowly. So at the moment it's just hoping to slowly take space, and with one pick on the Tantrum, it is maybe happening.
Oh, decent damage being traded. Martin just a little bit overextended. It looks like he could maybe possibly go down. Oh my lord, he's just about living with 3 HP. Nice arrow as well from Muffin. That's going to keep him alive. Really crucial. I feel like losing your demo man might have been absolutely disastrous for them. Could have opened up some of these flanks, but he is going to live. We're going to continue this little bit of a stalemate. We did have the sniper go down on the side of the Finns, and they are coming back up with all 6 kind of normal classes. I feel like they're going to go for the trade and repush or something. I feel like that's going to be like the kind of the play of the game. Just kind of run forward, trade Ubers, and just kind of go for some kind of repush. You see so much damage from Martin. Yeah, picking up alongside TimTom, taking down Skyper. Soldier jumps in. This has got to be so good. Yeah, nice, easy force there from TimTom. They're losing Mist on the flank as well. They've got Uber advantage. They've got player disadvantage.
Oh, look where Neon is hiding. Oh no, he disabandoned. You can hide all the way up top on some random rock on the cliff area there. Wanted to stay there, and he decides to just feed in. Will trade one out for the team, but is that enough? Maybe for Molly to at least get behind.
Last, yeah, no, I have no idea what's going on. That was actually a soldier on last, wasn't it? Ah, Pain Train. These big brain players, okay, if you still got the super advantage, Dutchies, they gotta start pushing out, right? We gotta start going somewhere at some point. You can't spend your entire life on last. There's more to life than this. Yeah,
there's still Skyper in the backline, just waiting for the backup. 2 people still third back on last, Tantrum and Skyper flying up high. Only one will go down, and with this Uber push coming into the mid-second transition, it just picks up pins all across the board here. The medic Haku is still alive, trying to escape desperately, but the chase is on. Tantrum going deep with scout follow-up as well, and there's no running from this anymore.
No, again, absolutely mulched in this corner. Okay, we've seen some proactive play. It's working. We're seeing the permaputus right now. I feel like it's you know, we're starting to see some evolving strats right now. Evolving strats. Big old Uber advantage. No heals really up for the Finns whatsoever. This should be a fairly easy take on second. It's only really this sniper you've got to be a little bit worried about playing towards this right-hand side. Skyper as well, basically just running in and dying, so that's easy frags there for Mist, adding another one to the scoreboard. Soldier as well, nice air shot as well, oh my lord. Dominating, walking on forward, got the super advantage, 50% or so. They can look to just keep going, no worries at all. Still 3 players down on the finish side, keep on going.
Yeah, the Finns suddenly taking so much more risk. They had fought on sniper, but they had so many players trying to contest second, all of which went down. Both soldiers and the DuMmTm down for last. It's a huge detriment as the Uber push comes in with the heavy on top of that.
Oh, we're going. This is heavy versus heavy action. We're going. Morty's getting absolutely just decimated into the skybox, but no splash for Jenny. We have a lot of high ground here. It's looking pretty good for the Dutchies. They can just play nice and slow. Taking just a little bit too many risks, but there's so much point time. The pipes from Neon, so crucial right now. We see a soldier, both soldiers actually jumping in. They're getting so much damage. Yeah, they're absolutely decimating. First round's going to be going to our Dutch boys. I mean, you know, it wasn't the cleanest, but it works.
Yeah, both teams just completely focusing the heavies. Jenny just left alone on the point to die, and the rest of the Dutchies just focusing down the finish heavy. But besides that, and despite not getting any of our kills with D, but at least they took the high ground, and it worked wonders for the resuming fight onto the point. They were easily able to spam down people and take much better control of the last point here. So well played there for the Dutchies taking the lead.
Yeah, I mean, new mid, new knee on the side of the Finnish team, so that's exactly what they're going to do. Last time we saw Neon just kind of run forward and start dealing the damage, but this time they're getting forced so much more towards their own back lines. Damage is being exchanged, but again, no team's fully committing, but both soldiers jumping in. DuMmTm, though, getting piped absolutely into the dirt. We see the follow-up! Oh my god, Tantrum getting airshot. The soldiers from the Dutchies not looking good at all, and the follow-up, it's so good. Muffins as well, dying to a roller. This is pixel-perfect gaming. It's only the scouts alive. They're trying to just dance around, but it's not happening. Not happening at all. That's a super good mid from the side of the Finnish team, keeping up their medic as well, so it's really about as good as you can expect. If there's an opportunity to push last, it's probably off this.
Yeah, beautiful mid fight by the Finns, just really well played passive mid style and not letting anyone cross point, so just got shredded midair and really quick aggression off of that. Speaking of aggression, Tantrum has some of that in spells with some follow-up spells so that hits Haku, but not for enough damage to get the force out. Really unfortunate for the Dutchies, and now it comes down to see if they have enough of a last defense here on not even Ubers, on an Uber disadvantage. So far on this point, we've only seen stalemates, so this will be interesting to see how the Finns approach it.
Yeah, big old advantage, taking down Jenny immediately. There's so many of these Dutch players just spread completely apart, but I guess that just makes it a little bit easier. They can focus down the frags one by one, and I think that's all that they wrote. Yet, equalizing in just about 1 minute 30 round there, making things nice and interesting here. Going into about 16 minutes left. I feel like as a last, it's so weird. There's no kind of clear high ground advantageous position to hold on the defensive side. You just kind of get scattered.
Yeah, and that unfortunately didn't waste nearly as much time as the Dutchies were hoping for, so they just need to go back to the drawing board and not get destroyed on the mid-fights. They want to play aggressive, but they need a better answer to the scout denying them.
Definitely, it just seemed like, yeah, the soldiers more or less didn't really achieve anything. Granted, there were some sick air shots from the Finns, so, you know, credit where it's due. This time, though, air shot's going to be Tantrum taking down Neon. Good start to the game here. No Demo Man on the side of the Finns, and it's going to be all on the rest of their players to try and move forward. You see, again, position being taken really well. This bomb from Morty almost got something here, but the surfs from Muffin is just a little bit too good today. So, you know, the second one team starts getting any kind of advantage, our other team just walks in. Oh my god. Okay, missed. A little bit over-aggressive, man. A little bit over-aggressive. Just at least trade for Skyper now with the help of Martin. Does look like Haku's been feeling just about fine though, so there isn't actually going to be any kind of uber disadvantage, but maybe an opportunity to kind of keep on trucking forward, try and do something a little bit before they get all 6 up.
Maybe, but I'd be surprised with the pace of the game plan so far. Either way, it's a big improvement on the mid for the Dutchies. I think it was Tantrum just hiding in the little corner to the side of the point. Surprising Neon getting easy pick distracted for a long time as well, opening things up much more. Now it's a question if they can find similar distractions here on last, with both teams struggled with so far, and with 4P just continuing on the sniper plays. doesn't make life easier.
No, it doesn't. Basically, it's just not really going to happen in terms of them getting any kind of force on last. Not really working. It seems like it's a fairly strong kind of last hold, but then can they really do anything on the second? The second is definitely... It's definitely an interesting one. There's so many kind of different safe positions you can put your medic. I mean, I'm not 100% certain of the sight lines, but when it comes to jumpers and snipers, it feels like it's pretty nice to hold for just about any medic.
Well, the spy you clamored for earlier is finally on the field. DuMmTm picks up the Frenchman, seeing what he can do. He needs to have a little bit of a distraction and hoping to get a little bit of an opening. He needs Tomba is way out of position compared to the combo in a good way though. Just having eyes on anywhere DuMmTm could be decloaking.
It's actually a pretty good situation. Like, they take it down the sniper, they know that there's a sniper on the side of the Finns, so, you know, if there's any opportunity to go with your spy, it's probably going to be now. Yep, we do see a soldier jumping on in, at least getting some vision, actually getting onto their sniper a little bit. No significant damage. DuMmTm doesn't even go for the full decloak commit, I guess, you know? Jumping just for info, trying to make things a little bit easier for them. They're kind of maybe trusting the Finns aren't going to be looking to push out just yet. DuMmTm's directly behind him. He sees absolutely everything. Again, taking down the Scarpa. So much damage has been dealt to the Dutchies. Uber does get exchanged. Actually, not at all. Haku's going to drop. Absolutely disaster. They're just going to wipe him, surely.
That was incredible timing by DuMmTm. The moment Uber came out of the force, they were just ready to have the Finns go back straight into the spy instead of hoping they would exchange, and it just completely picks them apart. Really well done there with the spy, and Dutchies back in the lead.
I wasn't ready for it, honestly. I wasn't ready. I was expecting something else to be happening. I was expecting, I don't know, some kind of like closer exchange, this, that, whatever. I don't know. Either way, once again, Dutchies in the driving seat, going into yet another mid. It's gonna be, I feel like all through the mid so far, it's been something like distinctly different, you know, something kind of fairly significant. I feel like Neon's gonna be going a little bit more aggressive again, you know, trying to get some more early damage. You see this high ground position being taken by the Dutchies, super passive. I feel like the Finns could just kind of get on the point. The soldier does jump in to try and make something happen, try and, you know, make the most out of it, but didn't really turn up to mid the majority of the Dutchies, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, Neon just stick it off high ground. The scouts wanted to take decent position for the rest of the fight, and they just got that on. One down immediately, and suddenly it's all the same story we've seen before. Finns just taking all the control, but all the spam is in the Dutch favor. Spamming down on entry, getting Skype for completely free, making entry into second a lot harder. They are still trying though, they're getting space really confidently. The Journey Heavy rolling out a little bit too late here. Martin gets stuck on top of that, making things all the worse.
Oh my god, it could be absolutely disastrous. It's such a difficult position to be in, but they're actually somehow converting some of these frags. I feel like maybe the Finnish combo is just a little bit kind of a little bit too worried there. I feel like they kind of could have committed, maybe traded an Uber there or something, but I guess they have the fear of the Jenny Heavy, so, you know, fair play, it is what it is. But they are playing with a round deficit right now. They've got to try and make something happen here. I feel like they can't let the Dutchies too far into the left-hand side as well. Mist surely has to get taken down. Yep, Scarf is going to get the force. Mist still just about playing towards there, I guess. The Finns right now, they're just looking to not use Skyfer somehow, still on the back lines, just about going down. But he provided such a distraction for so many of them back, as well as the Uber itself. It should be looking really good. DuMmTm's going to try and make the best out of this. Yep, we'll get that force, but loses his life as well. So, two players down on the side of the Dutchies. There might possibly be an opportunity for the Finns to just keep on walking, but no, the sticky traps of Martin's going to take down Morny. I feel like this is now a brave push straight to last.
Ooh, and the distraction on second as well. Tantrum taking 1v1 hits, two huge air shots onto Hoppy. Will take him down, draw everybody back. Huge singular play there by the soldier, and it just made life so much easier. Neon as well, too late to leave out of lobby, will get picked up on top of that. Suddenly this is looking so much better for the Netherlands here.
Yep, looking pretty good. It's only a tiny little advantage for them, but it does look like they want to start trying to do this. At least Mist does. The rest of the team, a little bit more uncertain. We do have Skyper once again on the back line, taking down Muffin so easily. It feels like his flanking routes are kind of crazy. Like, even just waddling through, you can get so many players behind, and now, I mean, they've got player advantage, they've got heal advantage, they've got Uber advantage if they want to wait that long, but I don't think they do at all. They're going to be playing all towards the point, bringing all these Dutch players forward. They're about 95%. As long as Haku can stay alive, it's not even going to matter. Once again, equalizing things. 10 minutes left to go. And it just feels like, yeah, just these tiny little overextensions, you know, not quite understanding what you can get away with on the map is causing some serious problems for both teams, really.
Yeah, and it shows. This is like the second or third time in a row on the same round where Skyport just gets behind and causes way too much trouble. And eventually it's just the one pick you really don't want to happen. Medic going down already on last is basically curtains, and it shows right here. 10 minutes left, even game again.
Yep, so once again we're going to be seeing this high ground position being taken by the Dutchies. Both soldiers on the Finnish side jumping in nice and deep. Yes, Kuiper's getting some crispy rockets on Muffins, and the rest of the team's just surging forward. We do have medics getting traded now, so it's turning a bit more of a scrappy fight. We do have... It is exactly 2 versus 2, but it's only really missed in on the fight. We do see the soldier jumping in late. Whoo! Tantrum! Nice 2 rockets, even keeping this alive as well. The perfect little follow-up there.
That was a close call as well. This was on 10 HP or something, and Tantrum just barely comes in the right moment. Really got a bit by the Finns, but at the expense of that, they were just not playing the defense they've been doing so well on these mids so far. And it just immediately gets punished. They lose their medic immediately, turns into a scrappy fight, and eventually this just goes the Dutchies' way. Taking the mid fight from now on out, taking mid control for the rest of this round for now, and maybe not much else. It will remain an even uber situation with both medics dying, but given how little time there's left in the game, with how stalemates has been at least at one point, and how messy it can be, you probably take the situation for now to just reassemble, figure out what to do to second here.
Once again, we do see Skyper on this weird flank, like all the way in the corner. He's almost behind half of the Dutchies. It's so weird. I don't feel like people are properly checking that. I mean, obviously the combo is like super far away from him, but I mean, oh, I don't know. This is looking pretty scary for them. Yeah, he does eventually get spotted out. He's going to be jumping super far behind, at least dragging a couple players back, or just kind of at least dragging their attention back, preventing them from doing anything too crazy right now. And you can see how scared they are of this. Oh my god, they want him.
It has done so much damage before that they kind of need to address it at some point. Maybe a bit too much so, but Martin will find the kill. And luckily for them, no one acted off it besides that. The Finns not ready to lose the second player in worst case scenarios, so everybody just stays on second, and now it's the Dutchies' time to take control here. Bank coming in from defender's perspective left side, while the Flay is coming right and gets the force immediately. Jenny and Tantrum both will go output, but it is maybe just about worth it with the force.
Yeah, I think it's got to be, like, it's such a weird position, such a difficult position to get onto that medic, but they just about manage it. We do see Deep Soldier once again. Muffin's taking absolutely 0 damage at all. Yeah, they drop Martin for it, but honestly doesn't matter too much. They're getting 2 frags, they still got the Uber advantage. They shouldn't really need to care whatsoever. I feel like right now what we would be checking on is those sticky traps and the inevitable Skyper flank. I feel like he's just an absolute flanking machine this game. Almost a little bit predictable though. Gonna be looking for this free take straight on the second. Scouts so much on the high ground. I feel like Jenny caught a whiff of Skyper. Yep, goodbye. Straight into the dirt. Uber advantage, taking control of second, and honestly looking to be going straight through the last. You see, DuMmTm and Miss, they're so keen for this. They can be jumping forward, getting some decent damage. So much damage towards Haku. They're not quite cleaning up these frags just yet. Horfy's going to be the first casualty. Still not really anything else yet, and these spawners are going to start coming into things. You see another little traded frag here. Skyper jumping in, easily taking down Muffins as well. But it has to just be how much can they play towards their medic. We do see the Uber from Haku get used. Dropping Skyper though. This is so kind of iffy now for the Finnish team, but I feel like just about we will see these Dutch players get out and just kind of be content not to lose anything further. Martin, he's just about getting out. Okay.
Really scrappy fight, and the 2 players on the combo for Louis van Gaal's army was so keen to go in, but they just didn't have enough players. They barely got anything done with this huge Uber they had, and eventually, by the time everybody came in, Haku just had his own Uber to respond with, and now they can take a lot of space with this, even trying to take space into lobby. Losing Neon on the way hurts quite a bit, but they just pick up 3 on top of that for absolutely no price besides that.
Once again, Skyper's in, picking up Muffins, absolutely no problem. 1 rocket, 2 rockets, not even worried at all. This exact same angle, I think we've seen like 5 jumps in a row. I mean, if it works, you know, I ain't gonna complain. So, once again, Finns. This is gonna be a 95% Uber advantage. They should look, once again, they're gonna be looking to take second for free. They're gonna be looking to, you know, keep on walking forward onto last, as long as they don't lose any one of these weird flanks. Like I said, the Dutchies, they had such an opportunity last time, but they just lost their players, right? You can't afford to let anything too easy kind of get behind or kind of, you know, get into these any positions where you lose your players. But at the same time, they can't really afford to just not use the Uber as well. I mean, they're playing this fine line, taking down Tantrum, no real significant damage being dealt to them. It does look like they will just about be able to take second, only losing this 1 scout. But they don't really have anyone to cap now. They've lost a soldier as well. This is kind of difficult. I feel like playing this advantage is just going to be hard. And as a result, we do see the soldier here jump straight in. Nice easy force here. And I feel like they can't really move straight for the last now.
Yeah, definitely too late now, and for how much trouble the Finns are giving the Dutchies here with flank control, they keep getting flanked in this little cave area on last, and it keeps going really badly for them. This time it's a force, so they will stay alive at least, but like you said, they can't really do anything to last. Hoppy tries to just feed in, maybe found a medic randomly out of position, not gonna happen though. People all around Muffins, not gonna let that happen. Question is how much they want to commit on the second stuff. Everybody far back besides Skyper, who as per usual just tries to seek around, cause as much mayhem as he can.
Yep, he's actually basically straight on the last. He's going to be going for the back tap. He does find a little soldier friend to be playing with now. He's hitting some nice rockets. They will trade at least. And the Uber does get forced out here. Oh my god, that's absolutely disastrous. How is this gone so shockingly bad? It's just muffins and miss all the way towards the point. They're going to get absolutely crushed here, surely. Yep, nice pipe from Neon. Taking down muffins. And this frag on a miss honestly doesn't really matter at this point. They get this cap and look at it keep on going there. Straight up, nice shots being hit now. 2 players down still for the Dutchies. They still have this heal advantage and this Uber advantage. This should be such an easy push, and you can see they're not quite rushing things, you know? They've learned from the mistakes of their enemies. They just went in, they get all their spawns, walk it in nice and easily, and at least try and take some of this high ground. I feel like they can't really play on floor even with a full Uber advantage.
See how it works. They're coming in and just popping and immediately playing safe sticks off the point, and everybody's just forced back on the Dutchies end so far.
You do see them basically playing straight towards the point, but like, I don't know, the second that Uber gets faded, you just see a complete collapse of the Dutchies. Nothing really happens at all for the Finns. Like, somehow Morty's just about still getting these frags. So much damage. That's actually kind of disgusting. The arrow's not quite connecting just yet. Oh my god. How is he still alive? This is disgusting. But does look like it will get cleaned up now. Okay. Whew. Little bit scared then. I thought something like absolutely crazy was going to happen, but not quite today. We've seen once again you can't just Uber onto low ground and hope for the best. Skyper still flanking, still just doing his thing. You know, if Skyper's in the server, he's going to be flanking. At least he'll get just about maybe taken down. Yeah. DuMmTm asserting a little bit of dominance. Now it's Dutchies with this massive golden opportunity. 2 minutes 40 left to go. If they want to win this in regulation time, now's the best time to do it. About 70% Uber advantage, looking to go straight onto mid. Jenny kind of leading the charge. Still some quite aggressive players, like Neon seems just a little bit too far forward, and Jenny's recognized it. Such an easy frag here, not even having to use the Uber at all. Morny as well could be jumping in, but Muffins is nowhere near. Dude, what's happening?
The Finns are just overextending. They really want this force, and it's just not going to happen. The Dutchies playing really careful there, removing all the sticks and causing Neon at the end of that to just overextend. They stay on mid way too much. Will forward spawn and will meet his end to Martin, just watching it happen. Morny is well almost falling for the same bait there. They need to be careful, but at the same time, Skyper did waste a lot of time on mid. DuMmTm eventually won the fight in the backlines, capped it out. It does, however, mean that everything took so long that Haku has now will have Uber for last to play it safe, and with only 2 minutes left, it might just save them into a golden cap if they don't have any better ideas.
I mean, it's possible. I feel like there's a real opportunity for the Dutchies to just kind of wait and then go for a trade with about a minute to go. You know, they can go for a sack now, and then if it doesn't work, they can still trade and go for a repush a little bit later, especially since they did seem to have a slightly better idea in terms of playing some of this high ground. It does look like, it's about 1 minute 25, it does look like they're just going to steadily move into lobby. They're going to have, yeah, basically no choice but to go for a trade here. We do see, yep, Soldier jumps in, he's getting absolutely, okay, goodbye Tantrum. He's getting absolutely decimated. Skyper as well, get taken down 3 easy shots for Jenny, but he's losing his life as well. Now 4 versus 5, 1 minute and 9 seconds left to go. Does look like that was kind of their all or nothing in terms of their sacks, and now they just have to go for a trade. The second these spawners come up, Jenny's up in 1. They got to start moving now, really, because as is, 55 seconds, they got to move into lobby, they got to take that, and then they got to move forward to last, and then still have time to actually cap the point as well. They're going to be playing it down to the wire.
We see the Tantrum Heavy come out again. They played with an aggressive Heavy before. This time it's another Uber exchange, so we'll see how that will end up working out for them, but the Ubers need to be off the table. That's just 8 seconds where you pretty much are not able to cap the point, and with barely 30 seconds left. That is so much time at this point.
Yeah, it's really going to be difficult. 32 seconds left. You see Martin still kind of peeking and probing, but at some point someone's got to commit here. It does look like they could be going through the shutter. Uber does get used. Jenny dies so quickly. We do see at least the Finnish Uber. It's only about 30% better. Skyper does go down, I believe, on the flank, so maybe just that one little saving grace is going to be so much on this Tantrum Heavy. It's 12 seconds left to go. They have to just commit. This Soldier jumping super deep. No one really playing too far close on the side of the Finns, though. They're just playing these, yeah, they're playing these smart angles, staying super spread, and it does look like they will be holding this. So that's going to be 2-2, going into golden cap.
Yeah, really, really close game. Huge wasted opportunity by defense at the end into last as well, with this like really just rushed Uber that didn't chase down anything. The Dutchies nicely avoided pretty much all of that to cover a distance, like you said, as well, and managed to push their way all the way back to the other last. Not quite managing to push that in time, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I feel like these sort of stalemates are a little bit in the Dutchies' favor, besides the fact that they are fairly vulnerable to flank attacks.
Yeah, I feel like if you can just like have in your head, Skyper's in the server, Skyper will flank you, and then you look for that, I feel like they should be, relatively fine. As long as, they can not have an absolutely disastrous mid. Because like these mids have been pretty kind of like 50-50 in terms of which way they've gone, but they tend to be fairly kind of dominating when one team does win it. Some mids, like we've just seen, the Dutchies just not even arrive, and then other mids, their soldiers will just double bomb and absolutely like nuke, and then everyone gets like decimated. So it's a little bit like, yeah, it feels like it's a slightly weird kind of situation. I do believe we got some logs. We'll have a look at the numbers. Always good to see exactly what's going on. We see, as you would expect, we see Martin and Neon, some of the most experienced players in the server, right at the top of there in terms of damage. I mean, Mist had some good frags here and there, but doesn't seem like anyone is kind of standing out massively, really. What about you, DuMmTm? Who's anyone catching your eye, or seems a little bit
What
standard?
is catching my eyes is is Louis van Gaal's heal stat. It's so bizarre. Everybody's about 20%, and I feel like it just shows their struggle to really like coordinate on this map a little bit with the flanking and everything, to just like properly play combo and flank. It's just everybody's just kind of all over the place for them, and it shows in the heals. Everybody just eventually finds themselves next to Muffins to get their heals, and they just kind of roll with it, which for the most part still works, but it also leads to people not really having these set roles and Skyper getting behind us as a result of that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, so it's a little bit weird. Skyper had some very kind of big, influential kind of individual players. There's something like, really important forces in, these different times where suddenly he would just appear behind Muffins, get 2 easy rockets, and, done, easy, like got the frag. But at the same time, 28 deaths over the course of like a 29-minute game. I feel like he might have gone for just a little bit like too much, Like I said, I feel like the Dutchies, it's something which is very predictable. You could read it, and as long as they play with that in mind, like, even not necessarily knowing the flank angles, they can just basically play with both scouts charioting their medic, just checking their corners, just like going for like the real fundamentals. I feel like that's what usually happens with most of these like new maps. People just got to play the fundamentals. But we're going into our golden cap here. So this is going to be it. This is all important. One round. This is their one big opportunity to make it to the grand finals here of this preseason map cup. Going to be interesting to see exactly what approach we're seeing on this mid this time. Neon rolling just a little bit towards the left-hand side, getting some info and a nice little tag towards Martin there. Antrim, though, on this flank, not quite seen. Does look like it might be a super good opportunity when he does decide to jump, but it is the finish, soldiers. Oh my god, they're getting so much damage, but they're just not quite cleaning up those frags. This is absolutely brutal. The bomb for the Dutchies was so much better now, and somehow in all of that, Muffins is staying alive. That's just absolutely crushing little mid there. Missed on 5 frags as well. Oh, what a cheeky talk from Martin. Look at him go, he's swagging.
It might have taken a while, but they finally found success with the bombs that previously just were shut down so easily, and makes a huge difference, huge bad from mid into second, possibly into last, if they can keep up the momentum and not get stopped by anything. Skype already considering just feeding yet again, had decent success with it, but wants to play it safe, wants to stay alive for last hold, where he's being met with a heavy and a gun on last. First time we've seen an engineer on this one, and the crate right now makes it a bit awkward. I would imagine Hoppy's moving this gun up at some point. We'll see how good the gun can be on this one.
Yeah, it's, I mean, like, they just about have time. The gun doesn't really cover anything other than, like, one tiny angle on point, so, I mean, I'm not gonna, like, talk trash. Maybe he's just got some massive brain play, but there's an entire massive Uber advantage. What is happening in lobby here? Somehow Martin's dying. I feel like the Dutchies just forgot they had Uber advantage. We're actually seeing 85 on Haku now. This is going to be so hard to get in here and get all this damage down. We have a heavy, we have a gun, we have so many buffed up players here on the side of the Finns. This feels like almost a complete disaster of a push. We do see a tiny bit of damage coming up from Tantrum here, but no, he's just going to have to leave as well. I have absolutely no idea how that was so disastrous.
It just took way too much time, and then suddenly, the moment they were ready, Martin wasn't on the same page. Gets picked up huge bad. Finns up 50%, walking into second, and hardly being met with anything. There's a stick trap on the point, though, too, even. on top of that, so they still need to be careful about that. Haku's already weak, the force could happen any moment, the moment somebody on the Dutch team decides to commit.
It's actually just going to be spam that forces off Haku now, so that's going to be nice and easy, but DuMmTm on the back lines. I take everything back. That gun was absolutely perfect, apparently. Absolutely nuking down DuMmTm there, so unlucky, really, but in all of this, we've had flanks, we've had random little pushes of scouts. Mist in particular right now, absolutely doing so much work for the Dutchies. Combined with Jenny, we're taking down Skyper as well. They've got all this Uber advantage once again. Surely, right? Surely, Skyper's not up for another 8 seconds. They can just walk all the way through the last here. They're not going to make these same mistakes. All they need to do really is just surely go if they're going to go top left. Just commit.
Yeah, they need. That's the right word, actually. Yeah, they need just more commitment here. Last time they were just not sure what to do. Hopefully, they learn from their mistakes. They have to deal with the same last setup again. And last time they used incredibly early out of like nowhere in lobby. So more convincing Ubers all it should take.
Yeah, we do see this Uber get used now. Martin getting a little bit juggled, but oh my god, somehow Mist does get taken down right at the start, but at least Neon and Skyper immediately getting refragged. So you can see this heavy, this gun, they're both taking so much spam. Really, really nice, patient play for the side of the Dutchies. Now we see this distraction bomb, so good for the Dutchies. Absolutely textbook there. Going to be winning out this golden cap and winning this semi-final game.
Yeah, well done. They learned from the mistakes on the first push and made it a much better second one. Just took top control on the left side, pushed everybody back and killed everybody that was overextending. Took the right side high ground as well. The flank just tried to win a 2v1 against a single soldier, I believe, to take control from there. And from then on onward, they could just start point, pressure the heavy and the medic, and really well done there.
Definitely seemed like it may have been like the picks of the Finns, but it seemed like both teams were kind of similarly uncomfortable. There's definitely some weird little positions. I feel like that pushing top left, usually when you have a shutter, you can just kind of, use through the shutter and kind of at least be fairly safe going up to that point. But because of how close the shutter is, you saw how much spam the Finns could take, defending as the other team pushes into the lobby. It's definitely an interesting dynamic, but a very weird map to look at least, to just trying to navigate around. My tiny brain was having difficulty, I'll be honest, I am too bright and I'm free camming into walls which don't even exist.
Well, either way, it's really good for doing fun cards. I mean, not just to win it, but also to win it on the enemy map pick, overcoming what should have been at least a slight advantage in all realistic terms, and coming out on top, making their way to the finals.
Yeah, I think most people right now are probably assuming it will be top 5 that they'll be playing in the grand finals. Not quite certain what's happened if the other semi-finals is over yet, or maybe it might still be ongoing. Not quite sure. Actually, with anything, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, but
because I'm a bit dumb.
Either way, the game is not scheduled to start in any sooner than 10 minutes. If even at that point it be live, we'll see. Either way, we'll see you roughly around in 10 minutes, and we'll be back with the finals of this Map Cup.